Depending on the deal size, if it were a larger deal, we'd put this thing into our investment portal. If we're syndicating it, then we would be going and saying, hey, here's our deal. So we build the package out, we build our own offering memorandum, and then we build a package and put it into the investment portal, and it highlights all the deal metrics and things that we're looking for.
If you're a residential real estate agent earning $200,000 a year and you want to grow your passive income, this show's for you. Learn the secrets other agents use and hear from experts in our field in order to guide you along your journey to investing in assets like apartment communities so that you can turn your commissions into cash flow. I'm Randall DeCleared. Let's go, baby.
All right. Welcome back. Happy Friday. It's good to see you or have you here with me today. I'm going to talk about this multifamily deal that we just started working on and kind of where we are in the process. I'm going to share my screen and I will go through kind of on a play-by-play and explain to you what it is that I'm looking at for those of you who are following along on a podcast. So let me just break it down for you. Basically, we've already gone through the underwriting, the LOI, and the contract stage. We're actually now open at title. We're doing our due diligence. This would have been a week into our due diligence by the time you're hearing this. So we would have done our inspections and all of the good things. So I'm going to go through it anyway, as if that has not happened yet. And then we'll just kind of highlight that throughout the process. Should be a quick, punchy this episode. And if you want access to this form that I am going through, I'm using Asana. It's just a project management app that we're using, but you can use this in just about anything. But if you want this entire breakdown that I'm going to go through, I'm happy to share it with you. Just shoot me an email at podcast@agentsbuildingcashflow.com, and I will be sure to shoot you a copy of it. Just as a reminder, if you are getting value out of the show, I hope you are, please go on, rate and review. It gives us a bigger reach, helps us get and stay in the top 2%. Right now, we're 2% worldwide, thanks to you listening and to your participation in the show. It's awesome to continue the conversation, keep seeing the comments and emails that I get from you guys. I really love it. So, and rating and reviewing helps me, again, stay in those ranks so that we can get awesome guests on the show and that sort of thing. So thanks for your support on that front. I am also wanted to quickly talk to you. We have the Ram Capital Fund 1 has been launched. We are buying single family houses in the Texas market. We are renovating them and then owner financing them. We're looking for partners to come and join us, invest your capital so you don't have to do all the work, do all the work for you, and then you get a return on your money. So if you want to learn more about that, go to the link that's in the show notes and you can book a call with me and I'm happy to answer any questions you have on that front. So let's jump in and talk about this apartment that we are working on currently. We'll talk about the first part. Here we go. All right. So if you're following along in the podcast, I'm just going to kind of play by play this for you. If you want to see this on YouTube, go to @agentsbuildingcashflow on YouTube and you can follow along with what we're actually looking at. Again, if you want to copy this, just shoot me a quick email and I will send it to you. So we are already through some of this process, but I'm just going to go through it anyway. The first thing you're doing when you're looking at these deals, you're going to underwrite them just like anything else. You're going to make sure that the numbers make sense. And so you're plugging all this into your spreadsheet, into your formula, making sure that the returns are going to meet what you are looking for yourself or for your investors if you have investors in the deal. So we've already done all of that. I reviewed the rent roll. I reviewed the T12, which is the trailing 12 financials, the profit and loss statement. There's all kinds of stuff that we can go to in the details of underwriting. I'm not doing that on this recording. So just know that there's a lot that's already been done. I'll go through right here. It's talk to your property management, send the T12, send all this stuff to the property management company, have them do an underwrite of their own and compare it to yours. This is a 24 unit deal. We're just buying it ourselves and then we are going to manage it ourselves, right? We've got experience in rentals and taking care of properties and that sort of thing. So we're just going to do it ourselves. So that doesn't really apply to us. So what we're doing now, typically at the very beginning, you're going to submit this to your loan broker before you're under contract and you're going to say, hey, what is this looking like? And they'll give you like a deal sizing page or some kind of like broad range of things that you could possibly get. What we're going for now is we want to get an actual term sheet from them that says this is the loan that you're going to get. And we want it to get firmed up. So that's what we're about to do. But anyway, this is again in the underwriting phase. So we're doing property research. We walked some other properties. We toured this property. We went into some of the units. I went and walked some of the other apartment complexes nearby that were good comps for this one to figure out why our property the rents are lower than the other ones. And so there's a number of reasons for that. And so it's good that you go through and you do all the due diligence on the front end before you actually put the offer in. So develop a renovation scope of work. We did that already as well. So anyway, that's a lot of the underwriting up front. That's what we do. After that, I'm constantly on the phone with the broker throughout the process and talking to them saying, hey, what's going on here? Your OM had this for taxes. What do you think it's going to be? Or how did they get it low? Or having those conversations with them. Hey, what happened to the laundry unit? I saw some old pictures that there was a laundry facility in this place and now it's not there. Why? Are there security cameras? All the questions. Ask all these things, get them all up front so that you can know what's happening with the property. So that's all happening in the background. And then we submit the LOI. On this deal, we submitted the offer and didn't hear anything back. We actually submitted, since it was a small deal, we put it on the commercial property contract form, the Texas Association Realtors form. And so it's really an offer. It's not a letter of intent. It's a hard offer that if it gets signed by the seller, comes back to us and actually puts us under contract. And that's what happened. We were working on other things, not even thinking about this deal. And then I got a text and a call saying, hey, contract's in your inbox. Let's make it happen. So they accepted our terms as we offered the very first time. And so it was kind of unique to this deal, but interesting. So let's see. Once you have the LOI accepted, and in our case, we're actually under contract. So we did the checks. We're open at title. We sent everything over to the title company. We're getting insurance, full insurance, and like bids now instead of just the soft quotes that we were getting from them. We're updating our personal financial statement and our biography and schedule of real estate owned. All of that stuff has to go to the lender. So we're going to put it together a lender package. It goes to your loan broker if you're using one. And then they're going to submit that to a bunch of different banks that they work with. And so that's what we're working on as well. On here, we're going to talk to our lender and we're going to talk to our loan broker about the insurance requirements for this property specifically, and then relay that. So we're kind of just working in the middle. We're getting all these things done. Okay, so I'm going to go down the checklist here and just talk about a couple of these key points real fast. So once the LOI is accepted, right, and if in normal situations, you'd have the PSA, right? So you're going to get the purchase sale agreement drawn up by an attorney. We're not doing that. Again, we use a promulgated form from the Texas Association of Realtors. And so in this process, usually you go LOI, PSA, you're going to have that being worked on for a week or two, and then hopefully you go under contract. Since we're already through that, I'm just going to keep going down the list, right? So there are some renter insurance programs that we always check into that we put our tenants on and they pay us. And so that's one line item on here. Create and send a deal package to the lender. We already talked about that. Update PFS and our biography, talked about that. And then, so depending on the deal size, this one, again, is a little bit different. If it were a larger deal, we'd put this thing into our investment portal. If we're syndicating it, raising capital from outside investors, then we would be going and saying, hey, here's our deal. So we build the package out. We build our own offering memorandum, and then we build a package and put it into the investment portal. And it highlights all the deal metrics and things that we're looking for, things that the return profile that you as an investor would be getting if you were investing. Again, on this deal, we're not doing any of that. So set up capital raiser account in investor portal and then create a new project in investor portal. Again, we don't need to. So we're doing insurance quotes. Another line item in here is commit key principal. If you need a key principal, what that is, again, if we were buying a $50 million property and we needed a $30 million loan. So the key principals need to have net worth equal to the loan amount and liquidity of at least 10% of that loan amount. So $3 million in that scenario. And so if I don't have $3 million liquid, then I've got to go find key principal who can sign onto the deal that has either the net worth requirements and or the liquidity requirements. Okay. And so that's one item on here if you need key principals. Next would be interview property management company. Again, we're doing that in-house, hire property management company in-house, engage attorney for PSA. Again, we don't need to hire an attorney for that. What we would need to hire an attorney for on this little deal is if we were going to bring on a few other partners to just give them an opportunity to invest with us. And so I'd have some agreement put up. I'd probably create an operating agreement for the special purpose entity that we're creating so that everybody knows what's happening with the deal. So it's just good practice there. Engage capital raisers. Again, not doing that. So build the OM. So all these things are just like checklist items that you're doing as you are putting this property under contract in the PSA phase. You're like ramping up, getting ready to push this thing out to a bunch of investors if you're doing that. So where we are in our process, we're actually in the due diligence phase. We're already under contract. We've already done all these work up front. And so what we are doing is all day today, I was on the phone, roofers, contractors, and lenders, insurance companies, just doing all of the back end work, legwork to get this thing ready so that we have all the numbers that we need. Even though we have a 30-day due diligence period and we have a 30-day close period, I want to know all that up front right now, right? Get my numbers in order. So again, on the screen, I've got all the things that need to happen while we're in the due diligence period. We're going to do a lease audit. We're going to physically inspect the property. We're talking about insurance requirements with our lender and have the attorney start the PPM and LLCs. Again, we don't need the PPM, but we do need LLCs for this thing. We're doing a special purpose entity, which I recommend you do. If you're ever going to buy a property, don't put it in your own name. And if it's like this is a property that we may have one or two partners on, and we don't want this tied to all of our other rentals, notes, and other things that we own in a different entity. So we create a special purpose entity for this thing. So you need an attorney for that. They're going to come up with the LLC and the operating agreement with any other forms you need for that. So a couple other things when you're going through due diligence, you're preparing things. Again, if I were going to go raise capital, I'd be preparing investor documents for digital signature, right? It's just like little things like that. We've just got all these things in here. So again, if you want this, great. The reason I love Asana is because I can come in here and I can actually quickly just add things to our templated form. So for this specific property, like rec, press release, new project now open. For this property, went and looked at it the other day. I was like, okay, does the gate work? How much is the playground? What's a monument sign? And let's come up with a new name for the complex, right? All these things that are pretty basic, but once you put them in there, we're all working on it. And I like Asana because everything that happens, every one of these tasks, like we can all comment on that task, and it makes it really easy for staying on top of everything as you're going through this process. So again, I'm going to record some, if you want to see some of the videos of the property, some of the tour videos and what it looks like when we walk a unit, some of the things that we're looking for, stay on or jump on the Agents Building Cashflow YouTube channel at Agents Building Cashflow. And I'm going to go through a little series, I think, on that for this property specifically. And we'll probably push it out to Instagram as well if you're on that. If you have any questions about this property or you want the sheet, again, just shoot me a quick email. Happy to chat with you about it and run through and actually work and show you how we use this thing in a little bit more detail. So as I work through this thing, I will keep pushing information out to you guys. And if you have any questions, like I said, along the way, then by all means, reach out. We are happy to chat with you about it and hopefully teach you and you learn and you're able to go out and buy these things, or you can invest with guys like me and do it with us. Have an awesome weekend and happy holidays to you and the family. Talk to you soon.
Surprisingly, most of the agents we speak with got into real estate hoping to gain passive income and become work optional. However, only 1 in 5 ever start investing. Most are simply too afraid to start. Once you get educated by listening to this show, you'll be able to overcome that fear and become the 1 in 5 who are finding financial freedom. Don't miss a single episode. If you want to stay up to date, the best way is to make sure you're subscribed. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do it now. And we'll catch you on the next episode.